All right, let's get this thing going, man. Got some stuff to take care of a little bit later, so yeah, I want to go ahead and jump on here and get it in. All right. All right, we'll get started here in a few minutes. Like always, you know me, I want to make sure this connection is on point. A few minutes here, we'll get started. 1 second. So look like we got some good news. Good news for the strawweight division. Good news for the champion. So yeah, we'll get started here in a minute. And let me get this thing going. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Marcus, what's going on, man? Just had to grab something while y'all come in here. Yeah, man. So I want to talk about a few things today, man. Definitely want to go in on these fighters and their mic skills. We're gonna talk about that. Got to talk about Julianna Pena and her call out. She's the one that's been kind of setting that example for these fighters. So we're gonna go in on that. And I recently did a video talking about Marina Rodriguez and her choice to basically say she's not going to change her style up. Not necessarily her fighting style, but just her approach to media and putting herself out there. So that's something we're going to talk about. And of course, Jessica Andrade, and talking about her title shot opportunity that she turned down. So yeah. Man, had to give me some water. Hang on 1 sec. Yeah, man. So what's crazy is it's like out of all these fighters, Julianna Pena, the past weekend, out of all the WMMA fighters, she was the only one that called out somebody, that made it known that she wanted to fight for the belt. And I feel like that's really something that's almost like been abandoned with these fighters nowadays. It's just like not too many of these fighters, they want it when it comes down to that opportunity. Whenever you get put on the spot after a good win and then you don't take advantage of that opportunity, it's like the floor is yours. The floor is yours. The announcer, he's giving you that chance. Cameras are on you, everybody's watching, and they give you that opportunity to say, who do you want to fight? And if you just say anybody, that kind of leaves us up in the air. Like, okay, what do you want? Do you want to fight up or do you want to fight down? That's how I always see it. I'm like, okay, you say you fight anybody. Well, what's your purpose? Like, is it to fight somebody in the top 5, or do you want to fight a prospect, or do you want to fight somebody that's number 11 or 12? What? Let us know. But see, somebody like Julianna Pena came off a loss to GDR, got right back in there, made a statement, beat Sarah McMahon, and that actually pushed her up. Let me see. That pushed her up to the rankings. Hold on. Let me see. I think she's number 7. So as the number 7 fighter, let me make sure here real quick. Bantamweight division. Number 6. Okay, so the win pushed her up to number 6, right? And what does Julianna Pena say she wants? Julianna Pena says she wants a title shot. She makes it known. She says, yo, look, I want to fight Amanda Nunes. I want a Nunes next. Nunes is over here fighting a fighter with 3 wins, talking about Megan Anderson, whenever she feels like, hey, you should move down to 130, 135 and fight me. Hang on. What Marcus Bell said, I think Andrade would look like Cachoeira against Valentina. Damn, that's hard, man. Danielle H, what's going on? She said, do you think Jessica will be able to get her hands on Valentina for a slam? If she eats like a couple of them hard punches right away, then she's not gonna get it. She'll never get the slam if she gets clocked. Like if Weili could clock her, if Weili is home in, then I don't think she'll get the slam on Valentina. I mean, anything is possible though. But yeah, man, it's like these fighters out here, aside from what Julianna Pena is doing, they don't really have like the mic skills to present what they want in the game. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you wanted to be a fighter. That was your dream. That was your goal, to be a fighter. But when you become a fighter, what else do you want to do with it? Do you want to fight up the rankings? Do you just want to be a fighter who just fights? Or do you actually want to fight for a belt one day? And I think a fighter like Julianna Pena, her mindset has never changed. She's had a hard road. She's had a hard she's taken tough fights over and over, but she's always focused on taking a title fight. She wanted to fight Holly Holm before. That fight never happened. She wanted to fight Ronda before. That never happened, right? So now she gets back into the mix. She wants to fight Amanda Nunes. And like I said, there's a hard argument that she could get the title shot next. I've heard that Aspen Ladd, called out Julianna Pena, but hey, to me, if Pena wants, I feel like she should be able to get that next title shot. Because, I mean, if we look at the fighters above her, let's look at the top 5 right now. Look, Irene Aldana lost to Holly Holm. Raquel is out right now because, she got popped. Number 3 is Aspen Ladd, who's coming off a long layoff, so she's definitely not in the mix for a title shot. Holly Holm and GDR, they've been there and done that. So why not let why not let Pena get in there with Nunes? And that's to me, that's a part of getting the title shot. Like, a big part of it is you wanting it. And, that's why I was making that example today. Like, the difference between Carla Esparza and Lauren Murphy is, like, to me, Lauren hasn't been as vocal and hasn't really set it up strategically the same way Carla has. You know, people say Carla ducked Ebos, but it was to go for a title shot. You know what I mean? So it's all about chess, man. Like, you got to set yourself up to the position where you want it. You know, you either got to speak it into existence, or you got to, play your pieces right. You know, so I just feel like that's a big part of it. Like, that's why somebody like Julianna Pena definitely earned, to me, not just earned it by winning her fight, but just wins it by getting that title shot. But I don't know, man. Like, if Aspen Ladd's calling her out, that might actually lead to a title eliminator. We don't know. But I still would favor Pena over Ladd, though. I mean, what do y'all think? I favor Pena over Ladd. If they're making that fight in the spring, because she says she wants to come back in the springtime. So if that happens, that would be a good fight too. I mean, hey, that would be good, and to me, that should be a title eliminator. Whoever wins Ladd versus Pena, they should get the title shot. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, overall, man, with these fighters, it's like, when you get to the UFC, it's not just about, like, okay, we know the majority of it is about fighting, right? We know it is about fighting, but when you sign to the UFC, there's still like a big part of it is like a gimmick too. You got to have like a character. You got to have a presentation, man. You got to have a presentation to yourself. I mean, you ain't got to talk trash all the time. That's other people's character. That's, like a Joanna's character, Ronda Rousey. But you got to have something that you bring to the table to make people want to watch you, because the UFC is martial arts. It is mixed martial arts, but a big part of it is entertainment, because you have a lot of actors. There's a lot of actors. I don't know if any of y'all know, there's a lot of actors who actually invest money into the UFC. I can't remember who off top, but there's a few actors that really invested in Fight Island. There were some actors that put some money into it because they watch it. You won't really catch them following Bellator or anything like that. Some of them, but they actually invest in the entertainment of the UFC, because that's what it is. Now, let me see. Yeah, Daniel, let's say I'll take Pena. Yeah, definitely, I'll take Pena. Marcus Bell said, let's hope Carla isn't going to get a title shot in Singapore, because she's going to stink up the joint. Look, if she gets it after Rose, that's fine. But right now I want Rose versus Wei Lee, man. So yeah. But somebody like, next fight I want to bring up, like Marina Rodriguez, she discussed this in an interview where she was talking about not changing her style up. And like I said, not necessarily her fighting style, but her approach to being charismatic, if you will. Like she said, she says, I know that having charisma is a part of some of these fighters' image. But again, presentation, that's a big part of it, man. Like, even if you're not a big talker, you still have to have some type of image to bring in fans. And if you bring it in fans, then your money and your pay grade is definitely going to go up. So somebody like Marina Rodriguez, she has to understand that she does have to have some type of image, some type of charisma, even if it isn't like the same type of bubbly character like Amanda Ebos is. See, Ebos has a bit of a balance. Amanda Ebos she showcases the well-roundedness in there and the willingness to fight anybody. And she has an image that people kind of like and they find entertaining. So Marina Rodriguez, she can't feel any type of way like, why am I the underdog right now, or why am I being overlooked because of Ebos? Well, Ebos is kind of presenting herself in that way, that she is the one. Now, we know Marina Rodriguez has the better resume. She's fought the better fighters. Yeah, definitely. I know she's the better striker and has the better resume. But the reason you or the underdog and people are underestimating you is because you're not really out there. You know, you still have to put yourself out there. It's the UFC. You know, you could go back in there again against Ebos, and what if people said, oh, Ebos is the favorite again? It's all because of presentation. It's all because of how you promote yourself. So nobody's saying Marina Rodriguez got to go out there and do the same thing Ebos is doing, or, you know, become a trash talker overnight. You know, nobody's saying she has to do anything like that, but at least let it be known that you are one of the best in the strawweight division. You know, present it some way. And what did I say on my video? Like I said, if she really wants to present herself to be that fighter that just fights and that's it, you got to make sure you winning. You know what I mean? You got to make sure you are constantly winning. And really, this is her biggest signature win, like she said. So that's one reason why she's kind of falling under the radar, because this is her first big win. She's been in there with veterans like Randa Marcos, came up short, draw. Calvillo was a draw, lost to Carla Esparza. You know what I mean? The only big veteran name was sort of semi-big name she beat was Tisha Torres. You know? So if you weren't racking up those wins and you were coming up short with draws and a loss, then yeah, you're going to kind of fall under the radar. So all Ebos has to do is go in there and say, this is me, you know, this is my image, this is who I am. And then I go in there and blow out, or, you know, dominate Mackenzie Dern, dominate Randa Marcos, and beat a Paige Van Zandt. And that kind of builds my stock up more than you, if that makes sense, you know? So she found a good balance of, you know, finding the right names and, you know, the right image to promote herself, where Marina Rodriguez, if she wants to be that low-key fighter, your image is mostly going to have to be based off of W after W after W, like Wei Li. You know, that's why Wei Li is on top right now, because she ain't talking, but she's winning. You know, Wei Li Zhang is always winning. That's why the cameras are always going to stay on her. But if you're a low-key fighter and you're not always winning, then the cameras ain't going to be on you all the time. You know, it's as simple as that. So you're going to have to find some type of balance here, because, let's see, I was just reading through this article here. Hold on. I'm just reading through it. Yeah, hold on. Let's see, because let's go back here. Okay. This is what she said in this article, Marina Rodriguez. She said, look, of course that giving attention to the media is also important with public figures. We're aware when we sign with the UFC, but you can't overdo it and let it take away time from your training or your rest and time to focus on media. It's not like me. These are different. There are different styles. Each fighter has theirs. I respect them all. The fans need to understand this is my style, win, lose, or draw. Well, if this is going to be her style, then don't get mad when you come in as the underdog every time. You know what I mean? Like, she probably would have came in as the favorite if she would have been more so out there and kicking ass and taking names. Like, if she would have been beating girls like Carla, Calvillo, and Randa, you know, if she would have beat them names and, you know, put herself out there with those W's, then that would have been better representation for her. You know, then everybody would have been like, oh yeah, this is the favorite. But Ebos, she played a good hand. You know, she played a good hand. She beat some easy fighters. You know, Paige is easy. Paige was easy compared to anybody she's fought. You know, Paige was easy. She got it Randa after her. Mackenzie Dern, she pretty much outboxed and outstriked her. So those were easier fighters. So balance that with her image to the media. She's gonna come out as the favorite. Right? She's going to come out as the favorite. I mean, we all know as hardcore fans that what was going to happen if she kept it standing, but the casual fans and everybody else is like, this is why she's the favorite, because of all these other reasons, you know. Much more better wins over mediocre competition, but they don't care about that. They just care about who's presenting themselves right. Where Marina Rodriguez, if she wants this to be her style all the time, or just chill and, you know, not being out there, then there is no win, lose, or draw situation. You got to constantly win, win, win. But just remember, your popularity and your pay grade ain't going to go up until you find a good balance with it. Let's see. Marcus says same here combo, in which I'm like, bother me on another day about Carla getting the title. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if she get it after, I don't care. That's fine. But right now, we want to see Whaley Rose. Daniel H said Rebus also knows English, which helps her fan base. Yeah, that's a big part of it too. And another thing too is like, if you don't speak English, you got to be one of those fighters that brings the force. You know what I mean? Like, Manon Firo's on the come up. You know, fighters that don't really speak English, people kind of take seriously. So if you just kind of play that up and always be that hard worker like Wei Li, and you back it up with wins, then that's another way to build your game up. Where, see, Marina, yeah, she's a good striker and all. Yeah, she is one of the top strikers in the top 10 right now. But let's look at her style. Let's actually look at her style, like not her image, but her technical style. She's never going to be on the Whaley status or the Joanna status if she doesn't sharpen up that ground game. You know, you got to sharpen up that ground game. When you sharpen that ground game up, then everything will start coming together, and then you'll be considered more of a force in there. But right now, you'll just be coming up short. So there's a couple of things that she has to change. You know, like Marina Rodriguez said, I'm not changing, but change is good, especially if you're not the champion. If you're not the champion and if you have a few losses, there might be something you have to change. If you're coming in as the underdog and you know you've been in here longer than E-Boss and you fought better opponents, then, well, something might have to change, you know? You know, so you, from the outside looking in, that's what I see. You might have to change something to gain more fans as well and to not be seen as the underdog. And even after, this was something else that she could have changed right then. Like, after you knock out E-Boss, which you call the biggest win of your career, you should have called out a name right then. You know, that's another thing. That could have been a positive change for your style, or not your style, but your ability to gain more fans. Like, if you're not going to be a big talker, at least give a, you know, call out of somebody. Call somebody out. Give us something. So yeah, man, it's just like, really, over the past few weeks and months, like, the only fighter we really have and that's setting that example is Julianna Pena. You know, she's the only one that's kind of been like, you know, I'll fight the champion. I want Nunes next. Whereas, like, I feel Marina Rodriguez, that was her point, to gain more fans by saying, yo, let me get Zhang next, or pull Joanna out of her semi-retirement or whatever. You know, pull her out so we can do this. And if I win, let me get Wei Li next. You know, she should have gave us something like that. But, you know, like I said, these fighters, they got their career and you know, it's in their hands. And that's why I say, whenever things like, when certain things don't go their way, they'll just have to understand, you know, that's why. That's why, because they feeling like change wasn't, they're feeling like change isn't a good thing. They get too comfortable. You know, comfort's a dangerous thing, man. But yeah, let's see, man. What else I want to talk about real quick? So yeah, man, it's looking like this fight is on the horizon now. Wei Li versus Rose Namajunas. You know, Dana White's already been said he wants to book Wei Li's next fight in Singapore. And it looks like it's going to be in April. And I think we pretty much all know that the fight is going to be Rose Namajunas at this point. You know, it's official that she's going to return in April, but they haven't really like finalized the date. I can't remember which two dates they were choosing. They were like back-to-back weeks for Rose and Wei Li, you know, to throw down. But yeah, pretty much everybody knew this fight was gonna happen. You know, people kept saying Rose was ducking. I was just like, okay, whatever, man. Like, you know, this fight is gonna happen. Like, this is the only fight that can happen. I mean, Rose is holding on to the #1 contender spot, and then you got you know, Wei ready to take on this fight. You know, she's just ready to fight. So put 2 and 2 together, it's just gonna all come down to negotiations and, you know, finalizing the date. You know, this is a big fight that I feel like both of these ladies want. You know, Wei going to be coming off of what, a year and some change. She's ready to get back in there and defend her belt. You know, yeah, I've been feeling for her because, you know, she's been training and working hard, and it's like, yo, when's my fight coming up? So I'm just glad to see her back in there. And lately seeing Rose Namajunas, you know, she's been posting a couple pictures, her working on her striking. I think it's quite obvious that we know that this fight is going to happen. And, you know, we can all put the avoiding this fight to rest, you know. But going into this fight, man, I'm gonna still hold off. You know, some people ask me that thing's gonna win. I'm not gonna do my prediction on this fight. You know, I'm not doing it until they actually give us a date, even though I know it's gonna happen. But I think there's gonna be a good battle of. There's gonna be battles of grit in there. There's gonna be moments where they play chess. I just like this matchup here because, you know, both of these fighters don't really talk a bunch of big game and a bunch of trash. When they get in there, it's all about that person that's in front of them, you know, and what they can actually do. That's why I'm looking. I just want to see what Wei can do against a very smart, rangy fighter like Rose Namajunas. But then I want to see what type of heart, I want to see what type of intangibles somebody like Rose Namajunas can pull out of the pocket, you know, pull out of her pocket whenever she gets into those dangerous moments. Like if she ever gets caught in the phone booth with somebody like Wei, like will she crumble? Will she quit? Or will she keep going? Or will she be able to throw back? Or will she be able to bite back, you know? Because this fight here, man, it just spells dogfight. I know there's going to be moments of dogfight and chess match. You know, it's not going to be like Andrade versus Namajunas. You know, this fight's going to be much more balanced. Like, I don't even see this fight being like Wei versus Joanna. You know, Wei versus Joanna was more so skill for skill, but at the same time, there was a lot of back and forth because, you know, Wei could walk through the shots of Joanna, and Joanna, she could take Wei best shots, and you know, Joanna's a volume puncher, so you got to go in there and take a chance against those, you know, those flurries that Joanna throws. Where I feel like Rose, she's more of an accurate hitter. You know, she's more of a precision puncher. Doesn't throw in volume like that. So, you know, there's definitely gonna be moments where Wei has to respect that power and just stay on the outside. You know, you got to be that type of fighter that has to think more against Rose. You know, if you let it slip one time, you know, you're on your back. But speaking of the power of Rose, like, what do y'all think in the chat? Like, do y'all think Rose has the power to knock Wei out the same way she knocked Joanna out? What do y'all think? You know, that's a question right there. Do y'all think that Rose has that power, that precision power to knock Wei out the same way? Do you think she'll ever get a good moment in the fight, like a good moment of just measured patience, you know, measured distance, you know, throughout a 5-round fight to catch her like that? Because, you know, Wei, she kept Joanna on her feet. You know, she kept Joanna on her feet. BJ, what's going on, man? You know, she kept Joanna on her feet and moving. You know, I think that Joanna just had that. She has that endurance. She just has that endurance and physical strength to keep throwing and moving and throwing at that same intensity because that's her style. Where I think Rose, she has to kind of measure, get you to fight her fight. You know, she has to measure and get you to fight her fight a little bit more. And I think that Wei is like a ball of energy, man. Wei likes to move. she likes to move and try to get in and get out. So I think somebody like Rose, you gotta time it. You gotta time it early. But I see Daniel Edge said no. Yeah, I'm kind of agreeing with you on that, because for one, I just think that it goes back to like styles making fights. When you look at Joanna, she's measured the distance. I mean, Rose measured the distance so well on her and kind of backed her up, and she timed her. Where I think Wei Li, her energy is a little bit more offbeat. It's fast but offbeat. It really takes time to get that down. And next thing you know, it's what, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds, and at the same time she's working you. So yeah, it's really hard to say if Rose could knock her out like that. It all came down to style, because you see she couldn't even land like a shot like that on like Karolina Kowalkiewicz, who she lost to. She could never get the respect of Tisha Torres with that power. It just came down to striker versus striker, where you could kind of measure that type of fighter. So yeah, I think if Wei Li switches to wrestler and being much more aggressive, keeps Rose on that back foot, then she probably won't have to worry about getting knocked out like that against Rose. Yeah, no filter. Yeah, man. Pena, man, that's what I'm talking about. Pena's the one, man. Like, she's just been the one she's putting all these fighters to shame with her call-outs, man. But let's see, what else with this Rose Namajunas, Wei Li versus Rose Namajunas fight? What else do we talk about with this fight, before it actually comes up? I actually talked about this on my other podcast. I posted a video. Y'all answered it, how y'all felt. Like, my question was, Stamina, what's going on? I had asked, is the belt in better hands with Wei Li, or is it in better hands with Rose? What do y'all think about that? Some of y'all. I think some of y'all had already answered that was in here, but I gave my different reasons. Like I said, I think depending on how you look at it, if Wei Li defends her title in April, it's in better hands, because she's a more consistent champion, and I think we'll get more fights. We'll get more exciting fights, and I think it's just a good look for her, being the first champion from her country to represent like that, And then I said, if Rose won, it would be interesting too. It would be in good hands, because Rose had to go to, in her last fight, she had to go to Brazil to face the girl that knocked her out. She had to go face that nightmare. Then after that, she had to go to Singapore to win her belt back. So it's just different things. Like, you can look at her storybook career and just be like, oh man, that's amazing. Like, the things that Rose did, the things that Wei Li did. But I think that Wei Li is more in a prime position right now, where she's got more to prove. So if she did win, in the eyes of fight fans, it would be a little bit better. It would be a little bit better. Because I was thinking about it, yeah, like I said, I'm kind of 50-50, but I think if Wei Li did win, it would be, we know that we'd be getting good fights. Even if Tatiana made her come back, we'd be getting that good fight. Joanna rematch. Just so many good fights you want to see her in there with. And I think her winning would gas her up to potentially move up to 125 one day, So just a lot of different ways it could play out. Daniel H. said all of Rose's victories came by decisions and submissions. I believe Joanna, when she said she had a bad weight cut. Oh, you think she really did have a bad weight cut? You think that can known to the knockout? The question is, can Wei Li KO Rose in a 5-round fight? Man, I think that style-wise, Wei Li, she has a little bit of what Jessica Andrade has in her. It's a bit of a, what's the best way? I think, was it the Green Hulk and the Gray Hulk? Is that how you want to compare it? Like, when he's a Green Hulk, right? Isn't he a little bit more aggressive? Or I can't remember. Like, man, I used to read these comics before. Like, I remember like the early version of the Hulk. You know, he was a little bit more. You know, well, I won't say he was a little bit, but he was like on a rampage. You know, he wouldn't think at all. You know, he would just go crazy. But towards like I think it was like in the mid '90s, they kind of switched the Hulk up where he can kind of control his attitude a little bit. You know, that's kind of what Wei Li is. She's a little bit more of a controlled Hulk. So I think with her style and just going back in and looking at these aggressive fighters that fight in the clinch and like even these wrestlers like what Carla was able to do, I think that Wei Li does have a possibility of KOing Rose in 5 rounds. You know, especially if she pushes her and, you know, pushes that gas tank. And if she really lands those big shots and if she lands to her body, I'm talking Wei Li's going to be switching levels. You know, Wei Li's going to be going to the legs. She's going to be kicking the body. She's going to be, you know, going up top with strikes. So, yeah, you gotta factor in that type of aggression and that type of style. And when you do, you kind of say, yeah, man, her possibility of KOing Rose is there in 5 rounds, especially when when you saw that how Rose looked in that rematch with Jessica Andrade, man, like, yo, Rose was lucky that was a 3-round fight, for real, because she really looked like she was in trouble in that one. I mean, yeah, especially after having her nose broke in the 3rd round, man, yeah, like, she's got to be more on her game. Like, no chance, you know, no fighting in the phone booth, you know, no overdoing it with the heart in these fights. Stamina said, Daniel H. Joanna has had a submission win in 9 years, no stoppage of any kind in a 5.5-year fight. It is what it is. Yeah, no, she hasn't. Because that's her style, you know. And yeah, she's done well with it, right? I mean, you know, up until she met Rose, but yeah, I think so, man. I think like Wei Li over the course of a 5-round fight, I think she could come down to. It would come down to her maybe like, let's see, like an unanswered strike type stoppage. I could see that. I could see that type, you know, if she was to hurt Rose, if she finally got it on the inside. But she's going to have to get past the reach first, Rose. You know, you have to get past the reach. And the question is, can Rose hold it down? Can she hold that focus for 5 rounds? You know, because Wei Li is going to be thinking. She's going to be thinking and she's going to be storming. She's going to be doing a little everything in there. You know, this ain't going to be like Jessica Andrade where it's just straight force coming at you. And we saw how Rose handled the straight force coming at her, man. That was tough enough. And just looking at their ability to take shots, you know, I think Wei Li is very, very rock solid. I mean, Rose is tough, but when you look at the physiques and, you know, the durability of these fighters, you look at the core, Wei Li and the training she goes through, you know, she's just looking more and more solid in any type of physical fight, any type of clinch fight. It's all favoring her. And just, you know, body work too. Like, I don't see Wei Li really getting hurt with body shots like Rose did. Like, I had to go back and look at the Carolina and Rose fight, and yeah, she did get hurt to the body. I forgot about that, man. Yeah, so it's gonna be a very interesting fight. You know, very interesting fight. I am going to go back and break this one down for real, like I said, and then I'll give you my final pick. But yeah, I'm just glad to know that a date probably will be announced sometime this week. You know, we can almost, I won't say guarantee, like almost. Let's see. Daniel H. I'm talking about Rose's chance of knocking out Wei Li. Wei Li has a higher chance of stopping Rose. Yeah, that's what she's talking about, Stamina. Yeah, we're talking about her having a higher chance of stopping Rose. She was saying that Wei Li. Stamina, she was saying Wei Li had a bad weight No, Joanna had a bad weight cut. That's why it kind of messed with her chin in that fight. Bad weight cut was part of the reason she got knocked out, is what she's saying. Stammer said Weili's chances are higher even if they're never met, though. Weili has just more of that in her history. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of chances for anything to happen for her in that 5-round fight because, yeah, she's just like got so much going on for her right now. Stamina, strength, endurance, her durability, the improvement in her striking, her focus. Her focus is there. But I ain't counting Rose out though. I think Rose, her where she goes to get her mana, if you will, that strength, she just has to go to a spiritual realm for her. And that's something she's been working on over the past few weeks, and it's gonna come sometime, within the months, and you'll see a different Rose. When it comes down to fight time, you'll see a different Rose, especially when it's talking about, we're talking about 2-time champion, trying to become that 2-time champion again. I think these fighters just take different approaches to getting it. Some people have to find like peace and outside elements to pull out the love of martial arts. Then you got fighters who obsess over it. They got that obsession of being great. And that's what just makes it exciting, man. Like, much needed fight, man. Just a much needed fight. Yeah, Danielle, it's the 5 rounds that I'm thinking about. Yeah, like when I go back and look at some of these boxing matches, when I go back and look at a lot of boxing, like there's certain fighters I know off top that are 12-round fighters, and I'm never worried about them. Then there's some guys where I say, oh man, this guy, he's only a 4-round fighter. He's not built for this. So looking at MMA, I look at Weili, and I'm almost like 100% confident that she's a 5-round fighter and she's always going to be good. She's going to be good in quicksand, and she's going to be good in deep waters. She's always going to be there. Rose, it's just a matter for Rose, she can go there, but it's just a matter of her keeping that mental straight. It's just a matter of her keeping that there. Robert Henry, what's going on? Stammer said it is. Rose has more experience of it, but that doesn't necessarily mean she's better at it. She's looked great. Not great across 25 minutes. Yeah, because when you go back and look at Weili, like even in her Joanna fight, I was like, man, this girl looked like she could go another couple rounds. I mean, there was some moments where she was rocked and in trouble, but I never really felt like, oh, Joanna's gonna knock her out, like, or stop her, or even wear her down to the point of a stoppage. Like that just shows you the caliber of opponent that Weili was, and there for Joanna. Like Joanna's not used to them type of fighters just like walking through her shots like that. Excuse me. So yeah, man, overall, yeah, definitely the best fight we can make. And I know there were rumors about Joanna and Jan being on the fight card as well, but that's not going to happen. Somebody had posted that. Marks Bell responded back with the fake news link, and I was like, yeah. Matter of fact, I had went to Instagram last night, and Joanna said that was false. I had saw it on her Instagram story. Joanna said she's not fighting. She's not leaving her couch. I recorded the video too, if y'all missed it. Joanna was like, when they make the right offer, she said, I'll get off my couch. She basically said that. Those are like almost the exact words. Her not leaving her couch was definitely said. I'm not making that up. She said the proposition has to be right for her to leave her couch. But she said no, she's not fighting on she's not fighting on that date. Yeah, hold on. I got it. Do I got it right here? Hold on. I recorded the video. Hold on. Let's see. I had to record that jump because it was just funny how she said it too. She was like, "I'm not leaving this couch." So, but yeah, what are y'all thoughts on that? I think Joanna should be. I think Joanna should be humble and get her behind on this fight card. That's the problem with some of these fighters. They get so spoiled, and they forget. They forget like fans are still watching. Like fans may not be in the crowd, but fans are still wanting to see their favorite fighters come back. Like, how do y'all feel about that? Like that kind of like, I laughed at it, but at the same time, I was kind of like, man, like, are you ever gonna come back? Like, are you really gonna wait for a title shot? You don't need no title shot yet. You need to be fighting a title eliminator. Hey, come on, yo. Hold on, let me see. I got this thing. I'm like, yeah, Joanna, you were champion. You know, you were champion 3 years ago, but since then, you know what I mean. The stock has fallen. Like, you at least got to take 1 or 2 fights to make sure that's what you got. Like, this is what you still have it. Oh, here we go. Hold on, y'all.
Am I fighting in April? Do you know something about? Do you know anything about me fighting in April? Guys, what's going on? Am I fighting in April? Do you know something about? Do you know anything about me fighting in April? No, me neither. I love my couch so much. I'm not moving anywhere from my couch. This is what Mikey Brown said. Do you think they have this money? The proposition must be so good. Other way, I'm not moving.
Yeah, she said she's not moving, man. She was like, I'm not fighting in April. She was like, I ain't heard that. I was like, am I fighting? Well, y'all heard it, right? Yeah, let me know if y'all heard it. I'll replay it. Yeah, Danielle, she gotta stop tripping, man. Like, you may not have to start from the bottom, but you still got to go back in there and say, let me get 1 fight to make sure I'm on my game. After I beat this person, then let me get the belt. Let me get the title shot. You know what I mean? Robert Henry said Joanna can just retire to her couch for all I care. I'm sick of hearing her best excuse. Yeah, I mean, like, the longer she waits, she will be pulled from the rankings. You know, in my opinion, she should be pulled from the rankings. Like, if you try to hold it up like this, then yeah. I mean, Tatiana had to go, so hey. Let's see. Robert Henry said Joanna can stop tripping. She tripped over her own umbilical cord when she came out the womb. Yeah, man. It's like, come on, man. Like, you got to do you got to, man. Like, at least 1 fight, 2 fights. Everybody else is fighting without a crowd. What makes you special that you don't have to fight without a crowd? Like, that you need a crowd. Like, crowd is not up for negotiations, man. Like, money, okay, I understand, but nobody's gonna say, look, we're gonna make a crowd, we're gonna bring a crowd just for you. Nah, you're gonna do just like every other champion. You're gonna do like DC did. You're gonna do like Stipe did. You're gonna do like Khabib. You're gonna do like Conor did. You know why? Because all these fighters are more popular than you are. You know? That's why. Hold on, let me see that thing.
Out of here.
Where is she talking? Hold up.
Know something about? Do you know anything about me fighting in April? Guys, what's going on? Am I fighting in April? Do you know something about? Do you know anything about me fighting in April? No, me neither. I love my couch so much. I'm not moving anywhere from my couch. This is what Mikey Brown said. Do you think they have this money? The proposition must be so good. Other way, I'm not moving out of here.
Yep. Oh man, here come BJ. BJ talking about she earned the right. Come on, BJ. Oh man, look, BJ, look, ain't no haters, man. Like, I mean, look, I'm not a hater. You know, if you're talking about the person on the mic, look, I ain't no hater. I'm a realist, man. Just like when I was talking about earlier, you know, I'm talking about Carla or whatever. I'm just going by what these fighters say. Like, if you ain't presenting it right, if you ain't presenting it and having a strong argument on why you are something special, then you ain't getting it. BJ, you better be playing, man. See, BJ, you must ain't going back and looking at my other videos, man. Like, I broke it down, man. Look, she is not Conor. She is not Manny Pacquiao, where even Manny Pacquiao, when he takes a year off, he gets a tune-up fight. Conor McGregor, they get a tune-up fight. After a year off, come on. Even they came back now. You know what I mean? Like, even Conor McGregor came back. So why can't she come back? Tell me that. Why can't she come back, BJ? What makes her special or more better than him? I'm not even a Conor fan. You know, I definitely have respect for him for all this stuff he was doing, but as a fighter in the octagon, like, what makes her more special than him right now? Because I even know that he has a lot. I know he has a lot to offer as far as, you know, what he's bringing to the UFC table. I mean, we're talking about a strawweight division that's turning right now. The wheels are turning in this division right now. They're going to keep turning without her. You know, spotlight is on Jan. Spotlight is on Marina Rodriguez too. Love it or hate it, agree or disagree. Potential comeback of Tatiana Suarez. That's who we looking at. Yeah, look, BJ, she's done what she's done 3 years ago. But as a fighter, you still have to hold your ground, and you don't have to necessarily rebuild, but you have to renew your membership. You have to renew your membership, BJ. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's saying you got to take all the classes again, but you got to renew your membership. Let us know why you were that champion. You know, give us a glimpse of why you were that champion before. That's all we asking. I'm not telling Joanna to fight 3 or 4 fights. If she fights one and blows out Yan Zhang, give her the title shot. You're not taking a year off and cutting in front of Rose Namajunas, who just beat Jessica Andrade. That's all. That's all you got to do. I'm saying the exact same thing I say about any fighter that I followed throughout their career in boxing or wherever. Like, you got to renew your membership. Nobody's saying to start from the bottom. Stamina said nobody said she ain't done stuff, but if you want stuff done, you get unlimited mileage to not do stuff / cherry pick what you actually do, then the game done left it behind. But yeah, like I said in my past videos, you know, I don't knock Joanna at all for, like, I love her style of fighting and I like her training approach, but there's an expiration date. Come on, there's an expiration date. For y'all that don't follow boxing, guess what? Manny Pacquiao, he just got stripped. You know why? Because he held his belt for 2 years and then defended. I love him, but I love his fighting style. But Manny had to be stripped because he won the belt January 2019, and here it is 2021, and you haven't defended it. What gives you a pass to hold that belt that long? No, you got to get stripped up. That's what it's all about, man. It's all about holding that ground for, even if, like I said, no, don't have to go back 2 or 3, 4 fights, but at least hit refresh every now and then. There's going to be updates on the screen. I want to see if the updates are an upgrade or a downgrade. Let me see. So when I speak on this last topic, I'm gonna do an open link thing here, and I just want to know your thoughts on the topic. So let me speak on this last topic here with Jessica Andrade, and then after that, if you want to come in, make your argument, BJ. If you want to make your argument on why Joanna deserves a title shot, you can. But let me speak on this last topic. So I know everybody's been talking about Jessica Andrade and her choice not to take the title shot that was offered to her in December. And pretty much I've already said most, pretty much basically how I feel about that. I feel like I think Jessica Andrade did the right thing. I think she wasn't really ducking. Because I know it says here, look, we offered the fight in December, but it was a very short notice. We were offered the fight in December, but it was a very short notice, and she just had fought. She had some family and spiritual problems to solve. They contacted us to fight Shevchenko in December again. There have been conversations 2 or 3 times. We're just waiting on a date that's good for the event and for us. Which, like I said, I know that opportunities come and they could be once in a lifetime things, but I feel like Andrade does have some leverage there. Andrade is the #1 fighter, so it should be treated like a #1 fight. It should be treated like a #1 contender. Short notice fights to me are fighters if you're a champion and then you got to get a step in fight that might be somebody ranked number 7, 8, 9, or 10 or below that. But if you're dealing with the #1 contender, a fight against a #1 contender, it should be put on the level. The right number of weeks for a training camp, the right number of time to promote the fight as a legit fight, #1 fighter versus the champion. That's how that type of fight should be promoted. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I look on one side, Jessica Andrade, she barely broke a sweat against Caitlin Chikagan. I said that. She barely broke a sweat. First round stoppage in October. But you turn around and fight the best fighter, one of the best fighters in the world in December. That doesn't really give you a fair chance to prepare for that. You know what I mean? That's like, let's say, who else could we compare like in boxing? Let's use the big names once again. That's like Floyd beating Juan Manuel Marquez and then coming back. Let's say he beats Manuel Marquez in October and then he's to come back and fight Manny Pacquiao in December. That's not really logical. You still got to build the fight up. It's not just the opportunity to take that time, take that fight. It's also a business thing. Number one contender versus the champion has to be promoted right. It's got to be promoted right, and they got money to make. Dana White has money to make, so he has to take time and make this a big fight. Don't just make this another turnaround journeyman type fight. No, you got to say, okay, Valentina is taking on this big, bad knockout artist, and we want to make this a big thing because she's the #1 contender, right? So why are we going to turn around and do that 4 weeks later without any proper promotion and any proper, not enough training, not enough training for the challenger side? No, we got to make this legit. Both sides have to have time to prepare. Both sides have to have time to promote, say what they got to say, do the presser, whatever, make the documentaries, make the embedded episodes, make this fight Make this a big fight. Make people want it. Because to me, if they just turn around and did it a regular fight, okay, Andrade beats Caitlin Chikagan in October, turns around, fights Valentina. They almost kind of make it like a throwaway fight. Like Jessica Andrade doesn't stand a chance. You know what I mean? They kind of just make it as a throwaway fight. And that's kind of how you're kind of cheating the WMMA fans. Like, make these events bigger. You know, you got to promote them as big events. That's just me. Andrade is number one based on favorable matchmaking. She's more fortunate than anyone else, and it could be argued that she's not acting appreciative of that. Yeah, I see that too, but now that she's already in the number one spot, it's got to be on a business side and a marketing side. Yeah, it's got to be treated as she is that number one fighter. So let's get the proper number of weeks for training camp or promotion and make this a big fight now. Because honestly, like, let's say if Rose beat Andrade back in July and she didn't get a broken nose, I wouldn't want to see Rose jump right back in there against Wei Lee in September. Nah, like, I'd want her to take the time out to get right for this big fight. I'll say that again. So Rose, let's say Rose beat Jessica Andrade, no broken nose. She was good, 100% cleared the fight. I wouldn't want her turning around fighting Wei Lee in September. 2 months later, nah, you got to have a full training camp for a pound-for-pound champion. Now, if you were just taking another little number 2, 3, 4, 5 type fight, fine. You know, let's turn that over then, you know, cool. But this is a big opportunity. Like, yeah, you can't pass it up, but being the number one fighter, the number one contender, it'll be there for you. It'll be there for you in the spring. Hang on real quick. Let's see. I'm just reading something. But yeah, honestly, I was just looking at this article. They were saying that we are studying to see if there's a date soon for this fight. If it turns out to be, fight could be in like March or April, between March or April. May could be a possible date. Okay. So yeah, let's get the spring, you know, let's get some good spring fights, man. Look, they said Andrade plans on the flyweight title fight in the spring, then that's cool with me. Yeah, that would be cool with me. That way there's no excuses. Because I feel like, see, that's another thing. Like, I feel like if Jessica Andrade took that fight in December and she winds up losing, I can promise y'all gonna hear excuses on her side. You know, so what better way to do it than to just let the fight happen? Let her deal with whatever it is she has to deal with, then take the fight, instead of letting her take the fight and then say, oh, I had some issues and spiritual problems and I had some family issues. You know what I mean? Let's not do that. Let's just put it all on an even playing field. No excuses. TJ, what's going on? TJ said, so what Andrade pushed the fight back is my take. There's no other contenders at 125 anyway, so I'm okay with prolonging the dream of Andrade being the one a bit longer. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's better anticipation for the division, man, for this situation. Yeah, like, who else is stepping up? We know Andrade wants it. That's why she moved up to 125. Like, so who else is really like in position to upset Valentina? Nobody's even calling Valentina out. You know? Oh, is it Caitlin? Nah, Caitlin's been there, done that. Is it Lauren Murphy? No, it's not her. Jennifer Maia been there, done that. It's not Calvillo. It's not JoJo. So I'm cool with waiting and making sure we got a full fight camp and full turnaround for this fight. You know what I mean? So definitely, like, yeah, I'm fine with that. Let's see. So hold on here. Yeah, I mean, it says right here too, Jessica Andrade, her team almost 100% sure that the fight is next, and they're trying to push for this date in April, May, March, April, or May. You know what I mean? Robert, hey, however you want to look at it, I'm cool with that, man. You know what I mean? Like prolonging the beat down, prolonging, however we look at it, right? You know what I mean? But at least we won't get excuses. See, if you get into December, about a month and a half after her fight against Caitlin Kagan, you'll hear excuses. You'll hear people say, I wasn't ready. It was too premature. Marcus said Andrade can push the fight back, but in the meantime, Lauren, where you at? I don't know, man. Stamina says send Lauren in and send Carla in for Whaley at the same time, and Julianna for Amanda. Why not? Well, no, not in April, right? Because if Rose and Whaley are gonna do their thing, and no, Carla can wait now. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, as long as Rose is in front of her, then yeah, she'll wait in line. But yeah, Pena. But look, that's the difference. That's what I was saying earlier, Stamina. That's the difference between Julianna and Lauren, though. And even like the difference between Lauren and Carla. See, like Julianna, like you can go on four. This is my point from earlier. You can go on 4-fight winning streaks. You can go on long winning streaks. But the key there, the biggest key there for you to get that title shot and say you deserve it is after you back it up, is you saying, I want it. You have to say, I want it. And that was the point I made in a video about Julianna Pena. Like, Julianna Pena, she's not on a 4-fight win streak, but she did a win, and what did she say? I want it. She's playing it strategically. She's like, I want it. I kind of put Lauren in that Roxanne category where it's like, I'm on a winning streak, but I'm just here to fight. Like, I didn't hear anything about let me get a title shot, really. Amanda got to worry about getting slept by Megan. She better be careful. The possibility is there, BJ, but I don't think it's like a great possibility. Like, I wouldn't say you have to worry about it. Just know the opportunity is there for Megan. If you give Megan range, if you put that chin out there, yeah, Megan's going to take it. But yeah, other than that, I'm not going to say like it's a big worry. Because if Holly got through that storm, took a few shots, and made that adjustment for a ground fight, then I know Amanda Nunes is going to do that. I know for sure. I mean, doesn't any of this like light a flare under Joanna? Doesn't any of this light a flare in Joanna to make Joanna say, man, all these fighters are getting it? What? Let me jump in this mix. Imagine if she fought Joanna, Yan Zhaona, and Yan Zhaona fought on the same card as Rose and Wei Li. Like, is she not looking at that? Like, is she not looking at the big picture right there? Like, is she just hunting for main events? I mean, she wasn't even a main event against Wei Li in the last time out, right? That was the Yoel and Izzy fight, right? So I mean, come on, like you could be co-main event to them. TJ said they want to pick easy fights. They know they can't beat the champ, and they don't have enough heart to step up. Look, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like some of these fighters, like Roxanne, they just want to fight, but they don't want to take that opportunity. But like my thing, yeah, like Joanna, like this would be a good time to come back. Come on, like Whaley versus Rose, Valentina versus Andrade. Her potential comeback as a title eliminator. There's just so many good fights to be made with no title or not on the line, you know. Marcus said, "Out of the ladies, who has the best? Out of the ladies, who has the best taking has a taking ass whooping defense?" Um, damn. Let me see. Basically, you're saying who has that? Who leads with their face, huh? Who leads with the face? Let me think on that. TJ said, "What you don't seem to understand is that even the swelling to Joanna's brain went down. The head, no, Joanna's head, the swelling to Joanna's head went down. The swelling to her brain didn't." Yeah, that brain is pumping, man. It's throbbing. It's as big as her ego right now, bro. Stamina. Joanna isn't seeing the game truly. Isn't seeing the game truly leave her behind because of all the inactivity since she last fought, despite what I said earlier. So she still thinks she's right there. Yeah, and that's delusional. That's her delusional way of thinking. Like the game is moving, man. Like the strawweight division is rolling. You know, the wheels are turning without her. So like she can't just come in and say, "Oh yeah, I'm number one contender." No. Rose, Jan, any of these fighters are here been, getting their fights in. High Five, what's going on? High Five said Joanna just doesn't want other big names in the same event. She just loves attention. Exactly. That's what I was saying. That's what I was kind of hitting at there. I was like, she doesn't want to miss out on any shine there. Especially if it's other women, because she'll have to do a co-main event against like Izzy or Khabib, Connor. She'll have to be co-main event to those fighters. But I guess if it comes to other women, she feels like she should be the main event of the women that night. Yeah, Marcus. GDR was taking less damage there because she wasn't. She was more in a wrestling situation. She was getting clinched up and she was cracking Nunes back, actually. Robert Henry said Jessica Andrade. Yeah. I think GDR was more so getting outworked and, just getting schooled. Oh yeah. I think if there been strawweight championship fights since then, she couldn't keep up this charade. Yeah, if they would have had more title fights and it would just kept going, if Wei Li was like in the mix, then yeah, they probably would have just said let's keep it going, and Joanna would have had to bite down and come back and say let me find my place again. TJ said, "I get where Joanna's coming from, kinda. I wouldn't want to risk getting a swollen head, mutant head, unless it was for a title either." That's the thing, not everybody gonna dish it out like that. She should know that. High Five said, I think Jan/Marina should call out Joanna. That's the best match. Marina had that chance, honestly. Like, Marina should have called her out that night of the fight. That's something I was talking about earlier. You know, that's what I was talking about my skills earlier. I was like, and nobody's telling you to change who you are, like your personality, but at least start taking some names. You know, be a hitman out there. You know, Marina had the chance. You know, open floor. Who do you want to fight next? And if you call that person out, you know, McMahon, they will probably hook you up with that fight. Especially if you just knocked out Ebos, then come on. They probably would have put you in there with Jan or Joanna. Come on. And that's a good fight too, man. Either one of those fights would be good for her. All right, so let's see, y'all. Who we got coming up this weekend? Actually, let me look at the schedule here. There's an LFA fight I was LFA card, not yesterday, but Friday. I was gonna watch it. I forgot about it. Let's see. Okay, February 6th. Yeah, February 6th. Of course, we got Marion Renault versus Macy Chiasson. I'm looking forward to that fight. Okay. Molly McCann versus Laura Procopio. Just a stay busy fight for Molly McCann, so we'll see how that goes. Weekend after that, February 13th, we got UFC 258, Usman versus Burns. I'm looking forward to that fight. Usman Burns, that's gonna be a good fight. Macy Barber and Alexa Grasso is on the card. Poliana versus Mallory Martin is on the card. I'm leaning a little bit towards Mallory Martin in that fight. Stamina said the UFC ought to make the call outs publicly. Joanna versus X is the fight we're going to make next, and stick to that. That's what they should do, man. That's what they really should do. Prevent them from ducking by shelving them if they won't take the fight. That's what I'm talking about, man. Yeah. If you don't call somebody out, they need to be like, oh, Marina, you fighting Marina, you fighting Joanna next. Oh, you don't want that fight? We shelving you for about 8 months. that I agree with. Yeah, they should start doing that. You know. Yeah, prevent them from ducking. You know, shelf them if they don't want to take the fight. Be like, yo, 8 months, 8 months on the shelf. That's what I would have been doing that night. I would be like, you know, JoJo, she was like, I'll fight 10 more people. I would be like, nah, JoJo, you're going to fight Lauren Murphy next. If not, we'll see you in the summer. No, we'll see you in 2021. High Five said Carla won't call out Joanna. No, she won't. But if Joanna doesn't want to fight Jan, perhaps Carla will. Jan versus Carla for the title contender elimination. Any of them mix-ups right there is good, because, you know, Joanna versus Carla, like, Carla got to get that one. You know, she got to get that rematch. It's a style nightmare, but she need to get that rematch. Oh, TJ said, I'm talking put them right out of the rankings for ducking. Then we wouldn't have... Dang, man, you wouldn't even shelf them. I would shelf them for 8 months, man. He said take them out the damn rankings, though. Dang, take them out the rankings. I promise you they'll fight. Maybe that will probably work. I promise you they'll probably fight then. if you said I'm gonna take you out the ranking. So give him the UFC treatment was gonna give Leon Edwards. Yeah. Ryan Lee, what's going on? Ryan Lee said, "Hey, what do you reckon the odds would be, Jan versus JJ?" I still think that Joanna would be the favorite. Joanna would highly be the favorite in that fight. I think so. I think Jan can dish it out. I don't know if Jan has the power to hurt Joanna. You really got to hurt Joanna. You got to touch that chin, and you just got to be all around better timing, have better timing like Valentina did. You got to have physical strength, and you got to have what's the word? Physical strength, timing, and you got to be really, really good at keeping range, like how Rose and Valentina were. And I'm not sure if Jan has all of them tools. She'll make an exciting fight, but I don't know. So I think the odds are still more in favor of JJ if she came back, Ryan. Colton said, "Do you think UFC was wrong for feeding Spencer to Cyborg and Amanda back-to-back so early in her career and paying her pennies for it?" I think so. Yeah, I think so. I really do, man, because this was an opportunity for the UFC to build a featherweight division. They had so many opportunities to build a featherweight division, but they just kind of let it go, and they dropped the ball on it and let fighters like Felicia Spencer, what's her name, Zara Fardo Santos. They let fighters like that fight champions way out of their league and just kind of get destroyed. And it takes something away from a fighter, physically. Brains. You got to think of the brain. It takes years off of their fight years. So you put Felicia Spencer in there back-to-back with Nunes and Cyborg, you just took years off of her career because she took some very, very vicious beatings in there. Neither one of them stopped her, but damn, I think if she got knocked out, then that probably would have been better. But she took consecutive beatings from two of the hardest hitters in the featherweight division. Man, come on. Yeah, they messed up on that. Really. There should have been a ranking system big time. Just don't throw her in there. What y'all gonna do with Danielle Wolf? Throw her in there too? Get her damaged? TJ said Carla would never fight Joanna again if she had the choice. She knows she hasn't improved enough to get a better result. Yeah, that's a fight she wouldn't want to take. I never heard her call that fight out. Yeah. She would definitely want to go for the title shot before she did that. Stammer said they weren't back-to-back. She took all that damage because she didn't know how not to. Now she's taking much reserved brain rest because of it. Yeah. Not back-to-back, but yeah. But still, I think if she would have had, if they had a ranking, if they had a featherweight ranking, she could have been working on defense. She could have been working all of those different things to polish herself up, And that would have corrected her how not to, she wouldn't have been taking that damage, I promise you, if she would have fought in a division that was more fleshed out. If she had a division that was fleshed out, they would have been making improvements every fight. You know what I mean? She wouldn't be going in the head first, but she had so much faith in her style after winning the Invicta belt. She felt like I could do the same thing to Cyborg and Nunes right away. You know what I mean? She got gassed up in that way where they just signed her and said, you're fighting Nunes next, you're fighting Cyborg next. So it was just kind of a bad move on their part. Marcus said, let's all hope that Megan gets either submitted or TKO because as the fight goes on, Megan will be wearing that damage. Yeah, that's another situation like that. You stay in that fight too long and you ain't got no tools, then you are really going to get damaged. Because I think Nunes, honestly, I think Nunes can choose whatever she wants to do in there. Like, I won't say slug with her, but if she wanted to punch, big difference. Like, I'm not talking toe to toe, but if Nunes wanted to play the puncher in a fight against Megan Anderson, she has a good chance of knocking Nunes out. I mean, knocking Megan Anderson out. If she wanted to play the calculator puncher, she could win that fight. I mean, it puts her more at risk, but she could do that if she wanted to. High Five said Manon, Taylor, Santos are new faces that I think will give problems to Valentina. They will have all the tools, good on the ground, stand and fight, convincing that Chikagi and JoJo fight, of course, looks convincing. Chikagi and JoJo and Andrade, yeah. They definitely got some well-roundedness, man, where it's like, yo, I think they are much better off continuing to improve the way they are, and then eventually High Five, yeah, like they would probably definitely promote more problems than Chikagi and JoJo or Andrade ever would for Valentina. They probably would. You know, we still got to see how they look against other top fives, but it's looking like they might. TJ said these people acting like Nunes is somehow less capable than Holly and getting Nunes out of there. Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. Like, the puncher's chance is there for Megan, but understand, like, when I say Nunes needs to take it to the ground, that's just to cut off all risks. But if Nunes wants to play the puncher, she can. Now, will she maybe get knocked out? The odds are there, yeah, because she's playing the game. I mean, if she wants to, measure distance, if she wants to counter under the right hand of Nunes, under the right hand of Megan, she can do all that. Like, she could knock out Megan. I know that she could knock. I've seen Megan hurt before. If she wants to, she could knock her out. She could submit her. It's Megan's only option to knock her out, though. That's how I feel. Like, Megan has the puncher's chance. I don't see Megan having that many other selections to choose from. She doesn't have to pick your poison that Nunes has. Stamina said, remember, Megan was Felicia's first UFC fight, and she subbed her within one. Bad boy, she flattened her out. I still think it's still a possibility that Andrade bull rushes Valentina and manhandles. That girl has super strength. Well, I saw an interview with Claudia Gadelha, and Claudia said, like, Jessica Andrade had some unnatural strength. I don't know what she was hinting at, but she was just like, Claudia was like, this girl's strength is unnatural. She was like, I wrestle and spar with men, but like Jessica Andrade's strength was like up there and just like crazy. She said when she fought her, she was like, her strength was just crazy. Like, these men I've sparred with, it was just so weird. Possibility, yeah, it's there. Like, one little slip up and she gets on the inside, yeah, she'll probably manhandle to get the slam on you, but it's all in what she can do with the slam. Like, she tried to slam Caitlin Chikagi and she couldn't really make much of it, till she scored a body shot. That's how she got that one. Manon has a background that makes her more likely a future contender, but Santos is very iffy at this point. Yeah, Manon definitely has, like I said, I know UAE is different, but Manon was at least a champion. She was a flyweight champion. So we know she has a mindset of a champion. Nunes is so focused and vicious, you can see it in her face in every punch she throws. That's what I'm saying. Like, Nunes can knock Megan out if she wants to. Yeah, I ain't rushing to be the Stamina. Like, I want to see them, I don't even think I would match Firo and Santos up against each other yet. Like, I would let them fight some of the other fighters and let them get into the top 10 together. Like, I wouldn't even match them two up right now. I put Menon in there with like Andrea Lee, Roxanne. Put Taylor Santos in there with JoJo or Roxanne, any of those names, and let them both break into the top 10, separately. And then after that, have them fight sometime when they get in there, deeper into the top 10.
Okay, Limu, you said it. And as I spike it, I'll tell them how.
Stupid ass, man. Yeah, TJ, yeah. Nunes played the puncher with Cyborg, but Megan Anderson somehow scary. I think it's more like when people see the size, they automatically think Megan's going to do this thing. They're like, man, Nunes is going to get starched. But they just don't understand, like, Megan is dangerous when you stay on the outside. But if you get on the range of a long puncher, these long, wild punchers, even like a Deontay Wilder in boxing, like, once you get on the inside and they have no inside fight game, it's a wrap for them. It can be a wrap for them. Unless they know how to throw nice uppercuts or nice knees, it's pretty much going to be a wrap. So if Nunes plays the puncher on the inside, then yeah, that's an option for her. She could lay her out. High Five said 1 or 2 power punches will hurt Valentina, but I suspect Valentina would enjoy her long reach. Yeah, like, I don't even see Andrade landing like very, very stiff, hard shots on Valentina. If Valentina gets started early, like Wei Li did, and the way she got her out of there, then I don't, like, I see Wei Li, like, I see Valentina, like, laying her out. It's one thing to have power, but, you got to have the precision, too. Cole said, I feel like Nunes could take down Jermaine with ease, and she could definitely do it with Megan. I think she ends it with ground and pound if it doesn't beat her. Yeah, she could beat her with strike. Yeah. I mean, when you go back and look at how she was getting handled by Felicia Spencer, Felicia Spencer just had her limbs tangled up, and, she just kept wrestling until she got to her back. And when she got on her back, she laid her down and just flattened her out. I mean, I want to see how far Megan's come in this ground game, but I don't know if it's much improvement to say she can grapple or wrestle with Nunes. Nah. I think Pena will be a tougher fight for Nunes at 135 than Megan is going to be for Nunes at 135. Okay. That's how I feel. Let's see, BJ. Excuse me. Robert said, "Are you still doing links?" Yeah. Last half of the show, yeah, I'm still doing links. If you want one, if you want to give your thoughts on the topics, I'll drop you a link, and that goes for anybody. I don't care. One second, Robert. All right. Nunes just has that crazy power and crazy ground game. Yeah, she's a problem for anyone. Yeah, man. Yeah, she's got the power. Yeah, so like the options are there for Nunes. hang on 1 second here. Yeah, man. I don't know. I was just flipping through some of Megan's. I wonder how much training she's doing on the ground though. Like they don't really post too much footage of that. I was just looking at that. I mean, do y'all see anything? Do y'all ever see any footage of Megan working on her ground game? I mean, not saying she's not, but I mean, do y'all ever see any? Colton said, I honestly think Nunes hits harder than a lot of dudes at her weight class. Her coach said that some guys refuse to spar with her because she hits too hard. Yeah, man. Like, I'm sure she does. You know, her being a woman too, she probably like, you know, y'all can take my punch. I ain't gonna hold back. So, you know, she be cracking guys. Especially, you know, not all men, just because they're men, hit hard. Like, a lot of these men don't really commit to the punches like she do. She's really turning shots over. So, yeah, like, yeah, I could see her hitting harder than some men, definitely. You know, some men are just going to be naturally hard hitters or they're going to hit harder than her because they're bigger. Doesn't really mean they're turning it over, but I think she turns over her punches in a very, very smart manner. You know, she's very disciplined. There you go, Robert. I sent it to you. Stamina said, I don't think Megan wants to be seen to be answering her critics by showing footage of her drilling ground stuff, to be honest. That's what I was kind of thinking too. I was kind of thinking that, man. I was like, maybe that's something she just wants to work on behind the scenes. Okay. I think the fight I'd like to see is Megan and GDR. I want to see how that would go. I know that would be like standing. You know, that fight would be nobody trying to take it to the ground. All right. Hold on 1 second here, y'all. All right. We got Robert Henry here in the chat.
Hello?
Yeah, I hear you, Robert.
Okay, I'm just making sure I sound good. Yeah, man, so I don't know about you, Combo, but like I can tell that we kind of getting back in the swing of things because these last few weeks have been the most WMMA talk. You know what I'm saying? Like everything just slowed down first half of the month, but we're picking it back up, and I'm excited. So dealing with the first topic, I'm trying to do this from memory.
Oh, I'll refresh you. Julianna Pena, what do you think about her call-out stuff?
Oh, well, I think Julianna Pena has officially become the WMMA standard when it comes to call-outs. I think her call-out is beautiful. I think her ability to not only call out somebody after winning a fight is good. I think the fact that right in the backstage interview, she called somebody out. The interview where they got her sitting next to somebody, like she just keeps doing it. I'm gonna tell you what it's like. It's like posting your work all over again. Like she's relentless. She's just gonna keep calling who she wants to call out, and she's gonna keep making her case. So I think it's a beautiful thing, personally. If you're asking me.
All right, let me ask you this: like, what do you think? What do you think fighters are deriving themselves of when they don't make a call out?
I think they're not doing. Nah, I'm not gonna use that comparison. I'll say this: what they essentially are doing is leaving their faith in the hands of the company. And the problem is that when you're a fighter, right? Self-promotion should be your bread and butter, other than your fighting skills. Your fighting skills is your bread and butter, but your ability to draw in interest is your bread and butter as well, because I don't know how many people is in the UFC. I know that it's like something like 900 people. And before you even break it down to women who need attention for their skill set, for what they do. If you can't sit back and rely even on the matchmakers, because no matter how good the matchmakers are, you can still manufacture some interest, or you can actually be somebody that the matchmakers miss. See what I'm saying? Like you
Oh wait, Robert, is your there was a little bit of thumping noise. The chat was having trouble hearing you.
Okay, let me try now.
Okay, because TJ said.
Am I good now?
Yeah, you're good now. TJ said you were falling down the stairs.
Oh no, I'm good. Trust me. If I'm falling down the stairs, I'm yelling help. I'm not gonna be talking to you. So anyway, and ain't no state. No. Let me stop. I don't even gotta say that. So anyway, like I was saying, you can kind of dictate as a fighter to a degree. You can't control everything, but by being ready, just like always being ready to take a fight, or saying that if somebody's not going, or you know how they call them the backup fighters.
Yeah.
Well, but your career should be a backup storyline. It's like it should be like an actual storyline, but in case something happened, you should be promoting yourself in a way to somebody that they can feel you right in. They can be like, well, wait a minute, she called out Jessica. She's a good fighter. Why don't we just put her in there? She ready. She stay ready. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's detrimental to their career by not being ready from a marketing standpoint, as well as a training standpoint. Because if you don't jump out there while you got the opportunities actually end up being fewer than they should. Because even people like Conor McGregor, who are real big, you think if he don't do that stuff, they're not quick to be like, oh man, we really can push this guy because he's doing 90% of the work. We just got to make sure that it works. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We just got to book everything. That's power. That's influence. But they don't get it. They don't get it. Marina Rodriguez, JoJo Carterwood, they don't get it. They don't see it. At least JoJo will talk. I'll give her some credit. But what Marina Rodriguez did, it's like, why even do the interview if all you're gonna do is say, well, I'm just gonna keep acting like this, and if the fans don't like it, then or whatever exposure I get. Well, what happens is you end up getting exposed in all the wrong ways. And if you lose your next fight badly, that knockout that you just had, a lot of people will forget it. Me and you won't forget, because we cover it and we follow it and we're fans. We're on court. But the casuals, they'll just be like, oh, okay, yeah. Well, yeah, what's the name again? The girl that knocked out one. They'll probably remember Amanda Reba's name before they remember hers. And that's my point. She needs to send me a cash app, though, because all these damn videos I've been doing of late with Marina Rodriguez, I'm doing more promotion for her than her and her team. So she really should hit my cash app, though. Just on principle. Just on principle.
Yeah, like you said, there was a lot of layers to it and what we talked about. Even in my video, like my thing about her approach to media and her approach to not winning, I won't say winning, but her approach to being recognized she doesn't understand, like, if you're not winning, but you're not talking, you will kind of fall under the radar, right? Like, let's say if you find a balance, if you got somewhat of a mouth, you could talk, but even if you are losing, people will know you, and they will know something about you. But like, she went into this fight here having a better resume than Ibas as the underdog, and I think it really has something to do with her promoting herself. I don't know. I know it came with some of the losses too. I mean, the draws and the losses, but I think if people really knew who Marina Rodriguez, like, going by my prediction, they would have said, like, oh, she does have a chance. She could beat Ibas. It would have been such a shocker to them. What do you think?
I definitely agree that it would have been a more anticipated fight. Again, the hardcore saw that this was going to be a competitive fight.
Right.
Or let's at least say it had the potential to be. Because the question was, will Amanda Hebus try to stand with her? And our answer was yes in the second round. Of course, she flirted with that too long. But the other question was, will Marina Rodriguez be able to stop the takedowns, which is always a question with her. And then the third question being is, well, if she starts stopping some of the takedowns, will Amanda Hebus be able to hang Rodriguez long enough to be able to figure out a way to beat her? But here's the thing I want to break down. Here's my main point when all of those videos I made and what I was saying in my podcast. The thing that she don't understand, before I even say that, when it comes to personality and selling your personality, what people don't realize is that you don't need to say a whole lot, okay? Mm-hmm. Willie Zhang is learning English right now, and I give her credit for everything she's doing, but I mean, she's still a lot focused on her training. But at the end of the day, selling a personality ain't just about the words. It's about how you walk. It's about the people you hang around. It's about engaging with the fans, the people that you're around.
That's fact.
You can have a polarizing presence, and it can be 99.9% visual.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I don't see people sharing her Instagram and stuff, or sharing her on Twitter and sharing her on Facebook and sharing her. I don't see that. I don't. And it doesn't seem like, and I understand that she may not speak English, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm like, Jennifer Maya called out Valentina Shevchenko, and Valentina Shevchenko responded in minutes. And she had to use a translator to do it. So what's the excuse? What excuse does she have for not calling somebody out? I don't get it. You're talking about one of the most quiet people in the history of that division. Jennifer Maya is not a talker at all. But she do interviews and she does stuff. So, but my thing that really got me really going on Marina Rodriguez is not what she said, but what it is what she said, but also what in this interview, this recent article with Hebus. Hebus said she didn't get a chance to speak to Marina Rodriguez about the hype. See, they both Brazilians, okay? Mm-hmm. And I guess they got some level of communication. I don't know exactly what the conversation was between them, but I'm sitting there thinking, like, okay, why is this older fighter, this veteran, getting upset about this younger Brazilian fighter? And having what I'm saying is, it's exposing that she had issues by being underrated, even though she was ranked higher. She got caught up in the ranking system. And as you already know, Combo, how I feel about the UFC rankings, on several levels, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're the fighter that people are coming out to see. Exactly. Because you can be ranked higher because you may have had two better wins and they decided to put you up there, but that doesn't make you the more notable fighter or the more popular fighter. It's levels to it, and there's different components to it. And if you're not doing anything to balance things out, how can you be mad? So yeah, she needs to do more promotion. It ain't got anything to do with her personality. Man, look, if she went in there and started trying to act all bubbly and silly and goofy and girly like Amanda Hebus, then I agree with Jason Rose. She would be acting phony. She would be seen as a fake. But she can still go in there and let people know that, hey, I'm Marina Rodriguez. You know, I've been a dangerous fighter. I'm trying to take out whoever in the top 5. As a matter of fact, give me such and such next. She ain't got to say it exactly like that. Just use a translator. They'll say it. Just make sure they say what that need to be said. You know, it's ridiculous to me. So the answer to your question is yes. She should do more, and she should have did more leading up to that fight.
And you know what? Like, that was something I had brought up in my video too. Like, without Ebos even saying anything about that, like, there were a couple approaches that Marina Rodriguez took that I knew that she felt some type of way about the hype behind Ebos. You know, after the fight, you know, just the way she said, "Now that I knocked her out, now y'all gonna know me." Okay, they may know you, but you got to continue to keep that up. And even during like the presser, you know, before the fight, you know, she was like, "I'm not letting her popularity get under my skin." To a certain extent, she said that, but I'm like, why is that even on your mind right now? You know, like,
right?
Why
if
is that on your mind?
Underneath your skin,
yeah.
Why did you bring it up? Why you keep bringing it up?
And then she has to understand why Ebos is where she is. Look, it's how Ebos is playing chess. That's what I'm saying. Like, outside of the octagon, there's a chess game. Look, Ebos has been playing her cards right. She's been playing her pieces right. Look, Dern, Page, Randa Marcos, we all know those aren't like the best opponents that should push her up the rankings, right? But it's all in how she beat them. You know, she grabbed the right names and beat 3 consecutive, you know, like, we can look at Mackenzie Dern like a fighter that's being hyped up too. She beat names that are known, but not necessarily the best technically. You know, she beat those names, whereas Marina Rodriguez, her biggest known name to date is Ebos. That's why she has to understand, that's why she's the underdog right now. If she wants to play that silent assassin, like I said, you got to win after win. You got to score win after win after win. That's what Wei Li does. Like, Wei Li ain't talking, but you still keep your eyes on her because she's winning. You know.
See, but here's the thing. First of all, combo. When she win, not all the time. Up until recently, we wasn't really seeing like some big finishes. But when it's time to win big, Zhang is finishing people.
Yeah.
And then here's the thing. Zhang called out Joanna before she even fought her, before she was even a champion. So it's not like, see, again, her personality is polarizing enough. People take her serious because that's how she acts. She act like she want to be a champion. She act like she want to fight the best. She acts like she's ready to go whenever. But when you run around and you don't do certain things, I'm going to tell you what Edith would do. Little things that you don't even think about, like her taking pictures with Amanda Nunes. Regardless of whether or not you or anybody like Amanda Nunes, that's 2 girls named Amanda. One is a double champ and one is striving to be a champion. Little stuff like that. She probably got more for that picture than Amanda did. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's putting herself in the light of greatness. She's sitting there telling stories about fighting, and she's giving you some of her history. Her father's walking around with that might be a little bit of an extreme. I like the tattoo though. I like the concept of the tattoo anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can see that it's like a movement to get her on that level. Mm-hmm. Even when I don't agree with some of the execution, I agree with the fact that, hey, she's executing and it's making her potential much bigger, which means more people gonna pay to see her.
Yeah. I mean, look, Marina Rodriguez, her opportunities were presented to her in a different way, but if you want to talk style in the octagon, that's what cost her chances. Like, Marina Rodriguez was given big names. You know, she was given to Carla, Calvillo, Randa at the time. The only one she beat was Tisha Torres, right? So her come up could have been just as good, but not the same way. You know what I mean? Like she could actually got her name off of legit wins over these fighters, and then that would have been okay. More so, put her on the level where you could argue and say, "No, I need to be over Ebos now." You know, and
if she beat all those names, I don't mean to cut you off. If she beat all those names on top of Ebis, right?
Yeah.
She would have at the very least had whatever spot
that she
that that she want. Yeah, like what I'm saying, at the least you can get rid of Claudia. You can get rid of Claudia because you can't make no excuses for having her in the top 5. Not with a resume like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like you wouldn't have had to, she wouldn't have had to argue or anything like that. But that's what I'm saying. Like she's coming up as the underdog now based off of her performances too. So let me ask you this now, like with her not changing her presence towards the media, okay, that's one thing, but what about her changing in the octagon? Like how much is that going to affect her just as much as, becoming popular or being known as a good fighter? Like if she doesn't change her style, what's going to happen then?
I'm telling you what's going to happen. She's going to get beat up, busted, and what's going to happen is, here's the thing. If you're going to put all your money on your fight, and everybody know, not everybody's even on more notice, okay, don't stand with Marina. Just stand long enough to where you can like trick her into a takedown and then go from there. As soon as she get the value beat out of her, she gonna get pushed out of the UFC. So to me, I almost feel like both arguments are vital, and both issues that she has out the octagon and inside are equally bad. But on the short term, the issue with the ability not to be able to fight off her back or get off her back or defend takedowns is going to end her. Is going to possibly end her UFC career, not necessarily her fighting career. In the long term, though, she may have no career anywhere to where she can go somewhere else and make any money because she ain't got no notoriety. But definitely that will destroy her if she don't address the ground issues. Because look, all those people above her know how to fight on the ground. They may not be the best at it, but why would I stand with you if I know that you handicap like that? All I gotta do is take you to the ground. That's just like the reverse of fighting Julian Robinson. If I know, unless I know I'm a better grappler, but if I can outstrike you, I'm gonna outstrike you. If I can outgrapple you, I'm gonna hit you upside the head with an elbow until you make me do something different.
Right. That's what I'm saying, man. Like she's kind of making change look like it's a bad thing. You know what I mean? Like first he say, I'm not gonna change, win, lose, or draw. How I approach.
I mean,
come on.
I understand. Look, Comp. I would understand if not changing something, and you were still being effective in ways.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you're fighting a certain way and nobody's able to beat you that way, and your fan base is growing, and it's just and let's say this just happened to just be growing naturally for whatever reason, mostly because you're winning, and that's how you did it. All right, I could argue with you still. But you do have some evidence that you can get away with being like that. But all right, let me give you a good example. Let me give you a great example. Belichick, right? I ain't really watched a lot of football of late, but I generally know what's going on. But Coach Belichick, you remember Coach Belichick used to have those crazy, famous post-game interviews and stuff, right, with the media?
Yeah.
And he would be like, on to Cincinnati, he'll just play better next game. And he didn't have to, and every time the media would be trying to get a rise out of him, try to get him to say a bunch of stuff, whatever, he could just get away like no other coach, right? He became a personality by being an anti-personality. Sitting there, a white guy, old wrinkled white guy in a hoodie winning Super Bowl. But that was the point, though.
Yeah.
He can get away with that because as long as they winning, As long as they're winning the division, going to the playoffs, and end up in the Super Bowl once every 2 or 3 years, what the hell you gonna say to the man?
Right.
He's the best in the business. He's the best in the business. When you're the best in the business, as much as we can't stand what Amanda Nunes do in terms of winning right now in WMMA, she's the best in the business, so she gets away with stuff that other people can't get away with.
Man, that's what I'm saying. Like, man, like you could get away with certain things once you backing it up. So like Marina,
I mean, when they're knocking girls out, if she had knocked 3 girls out before she knocked out Ibis, you damn right she'd be bigger.
So she's kind of almost looking at blaming herself there. That's why I kind of feel like when I was kind of just reading how she approached the Ibas questions about her height, it's like you would be right where she is or higher if you had knocked out your last 3 opponents. You know, you would have been right in that position. TJ had said if her takedown defense was impeccable, he'd agree with Marina. Of course, yeah. But that's something that I'm hoping that she wants to change, man. But
you know what she was supposed to do? Say this. I'm gonna tell you what would have been smart for her.
What?
Call out Joanna. If she would have called out Joanna, she would have called out Joanna. I'm telling you, because she would have fought. She would have been fighting a fighter who we don't know necessarily who's the best striker. We know that you got an older fighter that has real good striking, who's willing to fight somebody like that, who has impeccable takedown defense. But it don't matter because ain't nobody trying to take each other down.
Yeah.
She might go in there and piece her up, and next thing you know, she got a title shot. But she's so stupid. She don't see it. She don't see it.
That's another thing. Look, like that's why I say when you outside of the octagon, you got to play chess because look, if you know the ground ain't your thing, then you better start matching yourself up. And she's got 2 opportunities, Jan and Joanna. So if I was on that mic, you got open floor, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to fight a fighter that wants to take it to the ground. Let me go ahead and call Joanna out right now. Let me go ahead and call Jan out. You know, let's put on a striking match. So that's a missed opportunity. So now Mick Maynard, Dana White, whoever, they're going to say, let's put her in there with, she don't want a top 5, let's put her in there with Kanako Murata. Let's put her in there with Verna Gendaroba. You know what I mean? You didn't want to take your career in your hands, so they'll take it in your hands for you. And then they might feed you to somebody else that has a better focus on getting higher than you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And you're going to be taking beating after beating after beating. You're going to mess around and look. It's amazing, like, the trajectory, like, how a fighter looks. I mean, I don't mean to make fun of her, but look at Kolakevich.
Yeah.
It's like once she started losing after she got knocked out, she just kept losing and losing and losing. And then here's the thing, the reason why I bring her up, she's an older fighter. I think it's different when you have these slip-ups when you're older. I'm not saying that some fighters are not great enough to come back from it, but I'm saying it just seems like at 34, if she loses badly in the next 2 fights, the division is the hottest division in all of women's WMMA. She may get buried just like that.
Yeah, man. But let's jump to this next one here. Gotta get your thoughts on this, man. This is the big one, man. Of course, nothing's really like cemented yet on date, and it's going down, but we know it's almost there. Weili versus Rose, man.
Oh man, I've been waiting for this. So like since the beginning, the beginning of time, or since I became a Rose fan, right?
Yeah.
But I'm excited that a lot of what people were talking about, you know, is coming together. That they were trying to get something done for, you know. And here's something in defense of Rose Namajunas. I know she gets a lot of crap for like when she lose. It seems like she got some time off, whatever. I mean, yeah, you get slammed on your neck and talking about, I'm going to take 3 weeks off. Okay, whatever. But the thing about it is, Rose, it's a pattern. It isn't just Rose. Rose beat JJ, right? Came back, beat her again. Then she went and fought Jessica in Brazil. You know what I'm saying? I know some people, well, what's the big deal with the travel? That has an effect. if it does, if the way you travel don't have an effect on you, then why everybody keep trying to defend Weili Zhang when she sit there and got into that war and beat Joanna like that on like maybe 3 hours of sleep? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And all the travel issues and sleep hour issues. And now she's about to go and try to regain the title in Singapore. I mean, you can talk about the business stuff and say, I don't know if she should really. Yes, you should be negotiating that because you're an independent contractor. You have to keep renegotiating your contract, because if you don't, they're going to keep renegotiating your contract. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like the
right.
NFL or whatever, they say, hey, we're going to restructure your contract. We're going to restructure your contract to bring in some help. Next thing you know, you can restructure your contract down to like less than whatever you were supposed to be making. Then you get cut. So the UFC ain't slick. It's just like any other business. How can we cut back this and get this? How we can get all of this from you, and all we gotta do is do this. See what I'm saying? You know how much money that card gonna make?
Yeah.
It's an Asian champion in Singapore.
Yeah.
Are you crazy? It was the same thing when Jessica went. Come on, man. They not. Look, if nobody here buy, they all gonna buy. Some of them gonna buy. Enough of them gonna buy. Plus, they gonna get us, because we, I'm like, so I'm excited about the fight combo, and I'm still going with Rose. I think it's gonna be a close fight, but I still got Rose by as of now. I got her by late stoppage or by a close decision, because Weili, that's gonna be a hard person to finish. I think the only way you can really finish her is to maybe catch her in a submission. That's gonna be very hard for Rose. But then again, I don't know. But it's a dangerous fight. It's a very dangerous fight. It's a dangerous fight for both fighters, because those some fighting girls in there. They can hurt you. So.
Yeah, they I was talking to somebody earlier about the fight, and I was saying, like, I don't see this as like a back and forth fight like Weili and Joanna, because I feel like if Weili was to try to take Rose's power shot, she possibly would get stopped, but it's hard for me to see like Rose homing in the same way she did on Joanna. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of chess match. There's gonna be a lot of chess playing in this fight. I think there might be some dog fights whenever Weili pushes in, but I think Rose and Joanna they just got two different types of speeds.
Yeah, I think Joanna is more prone to get into a dog fight. She's more into it. I think Rose values control.
Right, that's a good point. Yeah, because
she rather beat you over time and weaken you down over time. Whereas Joanna isn't scared to throw a punch in there where she thinks she can drop you right then and there. But the problem is she don't have the power to do that on most people. I mean, she was able to finish off Esparza, but that was after so much time. So I think both fighters can hurt each other. I just think that I think they're both equal in power, but in different ways. I think Zhang has a little bit more power in terms of her overall body strength, but I think Rose, with her precision, can hurt her though.
Yeah, I agree with that. So yeah, man, it's a good fight. I mean, this is the best fight we got in 2021. We just need it. We just need it right now. I think it's WMMA fans. But let's see, real quick, your thoughts on the Joanna clip I played.
I mean, what else can I say? It's funny, when I got into it earlier with Jason on my video, he said, well, you talking about Marina and all that. Well, what about Bojangles? What about Joanna? What about Jacek sitting on the couch, don't want to fight, or why you exercising Marina? And I had to respond to him. I said, when have I never, ever not gone at Bojangles Jack's head? You can find 2-3 videos within the last 8 days of me attacking her and asking her, like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? You don't want to fight. What are you talking about? Look, I'm telling you, I could just do a link to from the first time that she said, I'm not fighting without a crowd. And then, come on, you know me. You know if Joanna says something off script or out there, I'm gonna be like, nah.
She's not getting away with it.
Yeah, but just to answer the question a little bit more directly, it's like this. She can sit there and laugh and talk about, I'm not getting off my couch. Mm-hmm. But you can stay on your couch. Just retire to your couch, because in a minute, ain't nobody gonna be thinking about you like that. You know what I'm saying? This is like some Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately typely. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
Oh, yeah.
at a certain point, what you did in the past is just that. It's what you did in the past. You gotta at least be trying. Look, Conor McGregor went in there. Who knows? Maybe Conor knew he wasn't ready. He knew that there was a good possibility he was gonna lose this fight. Who knows? He may have had issues. I mean, I know he got some issues personally, and he still went in there and took the fight. He lost, but he took the fight. So I'm like, man, you know what? I start doubting her the more she do that. You ain't trying to get paid. You ain't trying to work. You ain't trying to be no champion. You ain't trying to represent Poland. You ain't trying to be the boogie woman. You the scaredy cat.
Yeah, I think them days are gone too, man. Because that's like, she's got this book out. She's doing other things, and I think she's seeing that the book might be making more money. So now she's trying to negotiate to a point that's just ridiculous. So it makes you say, like, I don't think you even want to work anymore. Like you expect to come back, jump ahead of Rose, jump ahead of Jan, and get a title shot? It don't work like that. That's why I was hoping BJ was still in there, because I was gonna let him come on. Because BJ said, "Oh, would be a hater." No, I'm not being no hater, man. Like, what has Joanna done to continue to hold down her spot? I said, look, it's like a certification, man. Like, on a job, these guys, look, after 2 or 3 years, you got to renew that thing. We need to see that you still have the skill set to compete on this level. So why can't Joanna just renew it with one fight, look good, get back in there, and then that's it, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
it's like, no,
I'm the best.
I'm still the best. No, that was 3 years ago.
That actually was 4 years ago, to be honest with you.
Sorry, yeah, we going up to 4.
Yeah. I mean, you were the absolute best right before you got knocked out in the first round at 301 against Rose Namajunas. Yeah, you're damn right. You were the absolute best. Now, you were still formidable after that. You may even improve in some subtle ways. But ultimately, you went down. You're not the champ anymore. And the thing about her, honestly, I think there's something that's leaking out. When I listen to that recording that you played, this is what I really hear you saying. I want another title shot, you know. I want to live those days again. I want, you know, I want to be great again, but I'm tired of this. I'm tired. She's tired. She's been fighting a long time. And every fight, she's been in wars. She's been in more wars probably in the last few years than her whole career. Think about it.
Just training alone, too.
Most of that 5, and then most of that 5 consecutive defense streak, she didn't have to struggle, but she struggled a little bit against Kolakevich, I think, and she struggled against Jessica a little bit, right?
Yes,
but really the hard fight she had was what?
I'd say her hardest was probably that Rose rematch. I mean, you know, of course she got knocked out the first one, but I mean, like, as far as, like, taking a lot of punishment, that Kolakevich fight, she got a knot on the head.
Right.
That fight, and I would say that Rose rematch was probably her roughest. But, like, whenever she was, like, fighting those fighters like Jessica Pena and them, you know, Claudia, I think those were the game fighters for her. But, like, nah, it was, she really started taking some punishment when the competition stepped up.
Yeah, and then the absolute worst, I would argue, would be the Whaley Zhang. She never took a beating like that over 5 rounds.
No.
I mean, she fought the whole time. I give her 100% credit, but
my head still hurts.
My head still hurt looking at that picture of her head. Like, I mean, her face had morphed in so many ways. And then, look, I'm not trying to be funny, But when she got swollen up so bad that when the scar tissue came in and the swelling was fade, if you first click the button on Google, you don't know what's going on with her face. It almost look like she in blackface.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, talking about these big black welts on her face. I mean, she got beat up. I don't even know how she was still standing after that type of scar on her face. But I'm just telling you, like she took a beating, and I honestly think that she halfway retired in her mind. She ain't gonna admit it though. Just like when Rose knocked her out, talking about, oh, it was the weight cut. It wasn't the left hook that you keep catching from everybody. It was the weight cut.
Mm-hmm.
Sure thing. I'm not saying that she didn't have a tough rep. She may have had somewhat of that, but to me, that's just an excuse.
Right. It was still the left hook that put you out.
Yeah, because it dropped you one time before that.
Mm-hmm.
So we can track this. You know. Yeah, so that's how I feel about Julianna. It's the same stuff. The difference is that she's older now, and she's starting to realize, you know what, I might have to go in there and take another beating just to be able to compete for a championship. She don't necessarily want to do it. She want to try to strategize, figure out how she can beat Zhang. But I'm like, you didn't win. You didn't win. I don't understand it. Again, I'm going to say this last thing and I'm going to drop it. I don't understand why she can't just jump back in there, because I'm telling you, this is probably you as a veteran. This is the highest your stock is going to be right now. So just take a fight. Just take a fight, and then you can push for a championship. You know, at least you can try after that.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like, you know, when you get to a certain age, you got an expiration date. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? Like, whether it's your body or your credibility in the division, it's gonna expire soon. Especially, like I said, man, we got too many good fighters at 115 right now that are showing out. You know what I mean? So she's gonna become the past if you don't go back in there and take your spot. You know, you got to come back and take your spot. You got to earn it. So yeah, man. Like,
I mean, come on, man. Look at Bernard Hopkins fighting since like 50. Now maybe he should have took that last one or these last couple of ones. But I give him credit for taking fights. He was sitting there fighting dudes that were clearly in their prime, way younger than him, and he was like, "Nah, I'm trying to unify the title. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that." People gonna pay to see that.
Yeah, for real. Okay, so Robert, last thing I talked about, Jessica Andrade, her choice not to take the title shot in December. Now I know you probably heard me. I said I agreed with her, just because it was a quick turnaround, and like I said, you know, you got to get a full training camp because come on, you're facing the best in the world.
I wouldn't advise that. Mm-hmm. I understand what Coach is saying because of the stuff that Andrade had said, but I kind of take it more of a grain of salt. Like, you know what? I ain't paying Jessica no attention because this is probably one of the highest class fighters she's ever going to fight. You feel me?
Yeah.
So there's no way she's going to not take as much time as she can. So I'm not surprised that she said no. I would call it a semi-duck at best. Maybe it was kind of like unexpected, like, oh, she want to fight me now?
Call it a duckling, right?
Yeah, a duckling. It's a duckling. It's a duckling. It's kind of like, I'm going to tell you what it is. It's basically Valentina firing a warning shot. Like, you want to fight me? Won't you fight me now, mug? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm
ready. I want to fight you. Honestly, to be honest with you, I actually agree that it's not just good for Jessica. I'm not saying that Valentina can't beat her on a short notice. I believe she can beat her just about any time, short of an injury that she would have to work through. But honestly think, though, it would be good for them to wait, because I think it also gives Valentina to be more in the flow of training back at 100%. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think they should go ahead and wait, and so they can give the fans the best fight that they can both provide.
Yeah, And I just think, promotion wise, this ain't a quick turnaround and stay active fight. This ain't something where hey, Angela Hill, you want to take this fight? Hey, Caitlin, you want to take this fight? No, it's not like that.
No, it ain't one of them fights.
No, you ain't just filling up a UFC fight night card. This has potential to be a main event or co-main event.
This is a life-changing type fight.
Yes.
So you can't sit there and just go into there like, oh well, I guess I'm gonna just take it now because nothing else I'm doing. Like, no, you need to be studying, you need to be working out, you need to be having your mind right. This whole thing about her spiritual. Here's the thing about this. I'm not saying I ain't got nothing against spirituality, nothing like that. I mention stuff like that, but it's kind of like those shouldn't have been the words that her camp used. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because
through every fight is a spiritual battle in some sense. Everything is mental. Everything is. So when you say that, you need to come out and say, "Hey, you need to do what Rose did. I'm dealing with some mental stuff right now."
Mm-hmm.
You need to be clear. You need to say it in a way where people can kind of understand it. Because, Jessica, I'm like, yeah, I know you're scared of Valentina kicking you in your spirit, going out your body for a second, like she did the other Jessica, but that ain't got nothing to do with it. Are you fighting or are you not fighting?
Right.
So I think she needs to like be specific about, hey, we just weren't ready. We weren't ready. We wanted to train. We want to give everybody the best fight possible. And here's the thing, believe it or not, most sensible people are not going to see that as a duck. They're just going to be like, okay. Because most people ain't expecting to see a turnaround like that anyway. Casuals don't even look for stuff like that. They'll watch it. But like when, who was it? When Davison for Figueredo and what's the dude, Moreno?
Oh, yeah. That quick turnaround.
Not granted, they haven't had their rematch yet, but they did a turnaround within 3 weeks.
Yeah.
They both fought on the same night. That don't happen. That don't happen like that.
Mm-mm.
So people aren't looking for it. So, yeah. Now, once you start getting past 5, 6, and 7 months, and like there's no excuses, nobody's hurt, nobody's under no type of protocol or anything like that, then that's when people start looking at you funny.
Right.
8 and 9 months. Nico Montano stuff, a little bit of that from Nunez in the past. That's when people start looking at you funny.
Yeah, man. That's why I said, look, some of these fights, they're just not gimme fights. They are life-changing fights. And, more so even for Jessica. Like, Jessica need to take the time. She need to take this fight. Like, Valentina's got Valentina's got many tools. She got many tools to handle this thing, but somebody just got dried, yeah, I definitely understand. No, I ain't taking that fight. You know what I mean? She like, nah, my spirit too important right now. So
Valentina can hurt you too many ways. It's not a game. We know that Jessica can get knocked out. And she's small. She's powerful, but Valentina could catch her in something and it could be real bad.
Mm-hmm.
So it ain't worth it to me.
Nah, man. But yeah, man, that was pretty much all I talked about today, man. Like I said, every other Sunday I'll probably come on and do it like this. If you want to come in, anybody in the chat want to come in and take one of the topics. But final thoughts, Robert. Anything else going on, man? That you want to talk about?
Nothing, but I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing over at Savage WMMA. Saying, come over there. You're gonna get some nice raw coverage every Friday. I do a live stream. I got the most recent one up there, and I'll be posting little snippets from the podcast. I already got one up.
Okay.
And yeah, just come through on Friday. It'll usually be up somewhere between 7 and 9, but I'm going to try to consistently have it up 7 o'clock on Friday. So, but yeah, man. Other than that, just taking care of myself, trying to live better, eat better, exercise. That's all.
Okay.
I need to get them focus balls. What I need to do.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to talk with focus. Yeah, man. But yeah, man. Other than that, too, man. I did a pretty good interview today, man. With a former heavyweight champion, one of my favorite boxers, man. I don't want to give a name. I'm gonna give y'all a surprise with this one, man. So
Okay.
we sat down, talked for over an hour. You know, we talked about the game. We talked about drug use in the sport. I was just talking about MMA with him, and he's a solid dude, man. So whether or not you a boxing fan, y'all in the chat or you too, Robert, like y'all want to go back and hear this interview because it definitely relates to MMA because this is a guy who didn't duck anybody in the sport.
Yeah, that's good, man. I'm definitely gonna try to check it. I have to go back and look at your Maverick. Hopefully before you do another interview with it. But I actually enjoyed your what was his name? Hart?
Yeah, Bret Hart.
Yeah, that was a real good one. Yeah, I was actually listening to that when it was premiering. That was a good interview.
Well, yeah, thanks, man. Because I actually didn't know she knows some of the same people I know from boxing and boxing world. So we talked for a while, and I just want to see that girl make it, man. Because like some of the things she's been through, and like how everybody's been downplaying her, say she's gonna lose. I gotta go for the underdog in this one, man. I mean, she is the boxer, and everybody is counting her out and picking Paige as the favorite. So that's just the time to go in there and show them what's up.
Yeah, well, that's that Instagram stuff. Come on, you already know what that is.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, as long as she go in there and fight how she knows she can fight and don't underestimate Paige, she should do well.
Yeah, for sure, man. But I just saw your update, man. I gotta check out your new Marina Rodriguez video here, man. I've been online all day talking to my interview. I've been at this computer for like 5 hours.
Blame Jason Rose for that because for some reason me and him got into it about that Marina Rodriguez crap. But I'm telling you, dude, I'm gonna have so many Rodriguez videos. I'm gonna hand it to a manager and tell him just fill up my cash app, fill it up because I mean that just for principle. I'm not even asking you in terms of being needy. You should fill up or make a donation to Coach Page or somebody else page because it's ridiculous how we pushing your fighter like this and they don't even give a damn about us.
Yeah. Like I typed in something about JoJo the other day just to find some highlights of her, and I was like, "What the hell? My video's popping up, nothing else." I saw some other interviews, but I was like, most recent was just me. I was like, "Come on now."
You want to know? You want to know how I knew? How small the universe expansive in terms of the way that the people connect to it, and there's a decent amount of people, but like online, how small the WMMA universe is. I typed in who was it, Jillian Robinson, and I'm talking about hours after I posted my video, it came right up to the top, and the rest of it was one or two random channels. And the rest of it was BJ. So I'm telling you.
Wow.
I'm telling you, when they say nobody is really covering them like we are, it's the truth. For the most part, you don't see those channels were like over 3 and 4, 500,000. You likely to see somebody. You're so unlikely to see anybody that's not in the top 5 or fighting for a championship. Even other women don't cover them who got channels, who are fighters or former fighters. They don't even talk about them. I get on them about that.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Hold on, Stamina said Jason is getting dragged in the most civil manner possible.
Yeah, extremely civil if you're dealing with me. But, I called him out. I was actually going to be civil. I was just going to talk to him about it. Like, okay, you say I'm being too hard on Marina Rodriguez. Well, explain to me, what am I saying about her? I mean, if she getting dragged a little bit, she put herself in position to be dragged. And here's the thing. I wasn't the one on there saying, yes, she don't really respond well. She don't really like the American audiences. That was some people from her country talking about that.
Yeah.
That was the people from her country saying people don't like her like that. So obviously all I did was tap on something that's much deeper than whatever I even know. So it is what it is. But respect to Jason Rose and TJ 347 everybody, because we all in here, no matter what our opinions are, We the pushers. We the ones pushing.
Yeah, pretty much, man. But yeah, bro. Thanks for coming on again, and everybody go subscribe to Robert Henry at Savage WMMA. Like I said, I'm gonna check out this latest video. Said Marina, she needs to change, right? Savage analysis.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna check that out as soon as I get off of here, man. But yeah, everybody in the chat, thanks for coming through. And I'll probably jump on live stream tomorrow. You know what I do. I'm gonna be driving, but I'll probably be on here talking with y'all like Monday or Tuesday.
Yep. Yes, indeed.
But yeah, man, you take it easy, Robert. I'll let you get up out of here.
All right.
Be easy.
Good night.
Okay. And yeah, man, y'all, I'll probably be back on here. But yeah, Colton, I'm gonna talk about that bare knuckle fight. When is it? It's February 5th. Yeah, I'll probably talk about it either tomorrow or Wednesday. So I think there's another pair of girls fighting on the card too. But yeah, man, I'm about to get up out of here, y'all. Thanks for coming through in the chat. You know, everybody else that be coming in here. Colton said not the driving stream. Yeah, man, the sound be a little wild with those, man. I'll do it Wednesday then. I won't be driving Wednesday, so I'll save it. But yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. Colton, Stamina, TJ, Marcus, and everybody. About to get up out of here, y'all, later.